Member Jane Poe. Present. Member Aaron Cook. Here. Member Bill Bruner. Bill's not here, okay. Member Mike Lawrence. Here. Member J.R. Holcraft.
I'm here.
Attorney Leslie Bozon. Here. Utility Director Mel Davis is absent. And President Mayor Carr and myself.
Announcements? And then approve the minutes of previous meeting?
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Committee reports. New business, Charlene Hare, East Trail Alzheimer's Walk, 9/13.
Hello. My name is Sue Manford, and this is Charlene Hare, and we are with the Alzheimer's Support Groups of Southeast Indiana, and we were wondering if we could possibly use the trail, the different trail, again on September 13th, 2014, for our Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Is that fall on a Saturday or?
It's on a Saturday morning.
Would you also like to have useful parking?
I was going to just add that, yes, if possible.
Parking area, that's good to me. For the trails, we don't usually keep.
And don't keep leaving on the trail.
One too big, might have been written in there. No, somebody should, because we give them, we don't give people the same date. I don't have anything for the trail, should I see?
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Dave Williams, Kelly Miller Circus, Merchant Hat Circus and Parking Lot Fairground.
Hello. I'm with Kelly Miller Circus. We're an old-time big top circus. Been in business now 76 years. Probably toured Indiana every one of those years. We still do everything the old-fashioned way. We still move every day. So we come in the morning, set up, do 2 shows, tear down, and leave the following morning. I'd be coming in here from North Vernon, Indiana. I'm on my way to Rushville, Indiana. First I went to the fairgrounds, then I went to the city clerk's office, and she told me I needed to talk to Dave Rudisell, who I talked to and got permission from Dave, and then she told me I needed to come. Well, then I went back over there and I arranged to find out about a dumpster, and I have that arranged, and then she told me I needed to come over here, and I saw another lady and got put on the park board so I could find out about the park board. We try to provide everything basically that we need, and I need to know, we provide the liability insurance. I just need to know how you would want to be covered and how you want it worded. We issue a certificate to that effect from our insurance company.
I'd like to know, are you asking to rent the fairgrounds, or
No, just the front parking lot, the gravel parking lot.
to rent it, or?
Well, I talked to Dave, and he said I didn't know what the process was, so I talked to him, and he said it was fine with him, but I needed to be put on the park board meeting, on the agenda.
What is the charge for people attending?
$10 for adults, and we will have free kids tickets out. You can bring 2 kids, or as many kids as you have a ticket for free with a paid adult. We'll sell them for $10 in the morning, and then there'll be 15 at the gate.
So what age?
Kids are going to be, anybody 11 and under will be free
11?
with a ticket, yeah. And we'll have free kids tickets in town. We have a big show. We have elephants, tigers, zebras, camels, llamas, goats, dogs. Most dates were always sponsored. This date was set, and then it fell apart, so then it's my job to find a spot to put us for the day. So that's why I came here.
One child free with one paying adult.
As many child as want to come in with a paying adult, as long as they have a ticket. We don't On this kind of day, we try to lose less money.
What date?
May the 6th to Tuesday, and they checked on racing and everything like that. There wasn't any conflicts with that. Yes, sir. We'd come in that morning, and we would leave the following morning.
You do clean everything up.
Yes, sir. Well, and I've already made arrangements for I know what I gotta do for the dumpster, and we pick up all the trash from there, we put it all and clean it up, and anybody that would like to look at it when we're done, we'd appreciate that. One of the things we work for is so we can come back. We play about 90% of what we play we go back to. For example, Rushville, the following days for the chamber, I've been going there for a number of years. We go up to Fortville next from there. Then we go to Kokomo where we play for the park, with the park district in Kokomo for a number of years.
Now, in other cities, do you pay a rent to use their facilities, or?
Everything is different. Normally when we're sponsored, the sponsor takes care of that. We don't, they handle that. So that's, I guess there's not a normal. Really, we do this in about 240 different towns, and then 95% of that we are sponsored.
Well, how does those work that you're not sponsored, I guess?
Some places we pay, some places we don't. It just depends. We try to work with whatever we can. I mean, we're supposedly for profit every day. Unfortunately, on a day like that, we'll be a not-for-profit day that day, but that's what it is. We tour for 9 months a year, a different town, 7 days a week for 9 months, and have for a long time.
Any more from the board? Go ahead.
That may require an A&E permit since it's outside the fairgrounds.
You're probably right.
I talked to the clerk's office about anything else, and they weren't aware of anything else.
What was the date on that?
May the 6th, it's a Tuesday.
How much is the permit?
I don't have a fee schedule.
It's like $125, something like that. It's like $125.
They'll vary.
Yeah, that's through the state, not the city.
What's that for?
It's an entertainment.
Oh, okay. A state permit?
Yes.
Okay.
Board pleasure. Have a motion to approve. Take the motion. A second?
Is that for free?
A second?
Second.
All in favor? All against? Aye. Roll call, please.
No. Aaron?
Yes.
Mike? JR?
Yes.
2-2.
Time ready, bring the subject for kids.
Thank you, sir. We need to see him about.
And do you have a card, sir?
Sure.
Make sure your insurance is given to the.
Yeah, I need a certificate for it.
Right, I just need to know how you
I'll review it. Do you have a card or one?
Mario Todd, Story Tower add-on.
Thank you, Ron. This is at the Speedway. What it is the lap counter towers. And I think we've got 1 through 5. Put some information in your packet. I think it shows the tower, existing tower. Along with the pricing for the addition, 6 through 10. We've got a done the upgrades in phases. This is the last part of that timing procedure phase.
Is the sign set up right now where you can only see it from one side?
Now it's three-sided.
It is three-sided and it can be viewed.
Correct.
So what additions are you making to it?
As you see, it's just 1 through 5. The new one will be 6 through 2. A total of 10 count flat.
Was this put out for bid, Mark?
Now it's sole source because Kevin did the first sign along with the company with the maintenance contract. So that allows us to do a sole source. That way, if there's anything that comes up or goes wrong, it's part of the original contract.
Is that correct, Leslie?
Yes, I believe so. So when you're saying 6 through 10, you're meaning 6 through 10 items or the 6 through 10 panels, same as before?
Position.
Positions.
In the race.
So when you read it now, read all the way from 1 through 10 with this addition.
Right now, that goes 1 to 6.
5. A lot of dirt tracks get shown pretty quick. It's kind of hard if you're a fan viewing the cars. It's going to help you follow the pace. And with a bunch of cutbacks coming, it's probably the last time we'll be able to do that sign.
They are coming.
Yeah, because it's still $40,000.
And that's why we did it in phases, Jim, when we first set it up.
Where's this going to be paid from, Mario?
Come on the parks maintenance.
Okay. The regular parks, not non-reverting.
Correct.
I don't know how much exactly, but it's the one that has
Do you know the number?
284,001, Mark's maintenance. 489 or something like that, maybe, Suzanne?
498, or 488.
488.
Yes.
Currently there is almost 4 million,
3 million something.
3.99.
And the regular parks maintenance fund?
On the big part.
284 Riverback.
That's not non-reverting, right?
No,
Riverback Parks Maintenance.
But it's not non-reverting, because we
No.
got 4 million in non-reverting.
No. 284,001,488. It's not non-reverting.
Any more from the board? Any motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Against?
It's about a 6 to 8 week.
Mike Lawrence, additional park rules.
Yeah, I was contacted by a few residents about the park on Arch Street mainly. Asking for more rules, for no bullying, no cursing. I guess they're saying there's a big problem with older kids, people with smaller kids, a lot of cursing, a lot of disrespect to the little kids. And they're asking for police patrol through the park.
Have you signed that?
We have signs, rules posted, but as Mike said, we've got some more need to be put on there.
Not necessarily that it's really gonna make a difference, but if they are there and you can get some police patrol, hopefully that will make a difference.
With the police, their advice something. Put that in motion.
I'll make a motion to add the additional rules to the park signs along with additional police patrol.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mike, can you give us some of the verbiage? I know you said cursing, bullying, what else?
I guess the older kids, which I guess is fall under bullying, just harassing the small kids, and running them off from, if they're trying to shoot basketball too, and maybe something about time shared on the court, I don't know, you know.
I got a
Little kid.
question. Somebody, put on Facebook, that we don't have real basketball goals, real basketball backcourts at our street playground. I don't understand.
Those are regulations.
The junior bowl is not, we have a junior bowl, it's not regulation.
But we got real rims. We got a real backboard up there.
Brad was talking about, because I think there's a little smaller back.
Well, they may be talking about the dimension of the court, it's not a regulation court.
At our street, it's on the regulation board.
Yeah, our street is, I'm thinking George Street, you're correct.
But why would they say we didn't have real rims or real backboards? Because they're fiberglass.
It's fixed.
Everything regulates.
I don't know metal.
Yeah, Mike, can you get with, it's Mike over there.
Your Honor, you may adopt those and come up with the verbiage and adopt those for all the parks as an ordinance. Then the police can probably enforce them.
I do know there is some verbiage in the ordinance, but I'll read that.
Moving on, old business. Have none. We haven't discussed claims, board approval.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Board works 5 minutes.
Thank you.
is absent. Member Mario Todd.
Here.
Sergeant Nick Meyer.
Here.
Okay. Deputy Fire Chief Rob Schutte.
Here.
Why doesn't it stop at Clipboard Branches? EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Moton.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis is absent. Mayor Dennis Carter. And myself.
Announcements?
I have a question, announcement. On the dumpsters for the cleanup month, I've had a few people contact me that they have like a building type materials in the basements of their buildings. Are they allowed to get dumpsters and put that stuff on? It's not like from current projects, but it's in their buildings now. I said I didn't know how to ask.
There's a lot of concrete stuff.
I don't know.
I go by weight.
It would,
Even the current ordinance, the one we did pass, in the current ordinance, it does say something about bulk items. And it's something I think we need to call and arrange with Lawrenceburg.
Brad.
Trash. I think that's, I mean,
Yeah, 'cause I didn't know what to tell Mayor. I told him I'd bring it up at the meeting.
It's on the weight on the back of the truck might be put into. Gotta call Brad will.
Okay.
but I'll look at the ordinance, the current ordinance again. I haven't looked at it for a couple months, but I'm almost positive there was something in there about bulk items and then you just need to make arrangements with.
Okay. Thank you.
Approve minutes of previous meeting.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Fire department.
We had 18 fire-related incidents for the month. We had 7 motor vehicles. Basic life support, where we were first ones there while the squad was out on another run, were 8. And assisted EMS 8 times, we're a total of 41 runs for the month. Also let the board know that our new full-time firefighter, Brandon Gibbons, started April 1st. He's doing real well. And I got I'll get a microphone for this. As you know, we received purchase of a new E1 rescue pumper, and our old engine 411, our 1985, went to Southeastern Career Center out in Versailles for the juniors and seniors to become firefighter 1-2, first responder, come out with their hazmat awareness and ops, and they presented this plaque, or this picture, which we're going to put at the firehouse, and I'll post it over here for everybody to see. It's a nice plaque. They've actually even got it running even better because they have a mechanical shop there and a body work, so they've been doing a lot of work. But just to thank the city of Lawrenceburg and the fire department for donating to them for $1. Turn around for everybody here, everybody can see it. So all the kids that when they come out, they can maybe get a job somewhere, or at least be good for volunteer firefighters somewhere. I'll put it up here and the chief said he would come get it tomorrow.
Thanks, Ron.
That's all I have.
Police department.
No report, Mayor.
That was fast.
I'm ready.
He's a Kentucky fan.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
On today, and our good truck has been starting up production.
These guys are pretty busy doing it.
We've had a good busy month last month. I'll give you totals here next meeting. That's all I have.
Did you also with that vitality on 275 or?
That was not Lawrenceburg.
Thanks, Bob. New business. Becky Stutz, Mike Clark, Billy Rose Gardenville project, Bill.
Okay, we're done with it. Let's see. No, I only got 2. I just want to make sure I got the right ones on the spot. Okay, Billy Road Guardrail Project. I have 2 bids. The first one is from TT Maintenance and Contracting. Is $42,865. And the other one is from Paul Rowe Company. And it is $35,000 even. They look like they pretty well both got their forms together. Those are the only two on that.
We would have one request of the board to go ahead and, if, along with your motion to, of course, upon staff review of everything, all the requirements, allow staff to send a notice of award to.
Award and notice to proceed.
Notice.
Just to execute the agreement.
So we would like to ask that you please put that in your motion.
You entertain a motion?
I'll move that. I live in Paul Rowe.
To send the notice to the board and the notice to proceed. Okay.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we have Ratliff Landing Deck, our dock modification project.
Now, Ratliff Landing was quotes, right, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. I have 3 of those. The first one is from HinFab. And it's $20,450.
One more time?
Please?
20,000.
I'm sorry, $20,450. I will have to look at this one for forms. The next one is from TT Maintenance. And it's for $15,975. The last one is from Maxwell Construction. And their bid is $11,650 even.
Any vote? Any motion?
Oh. 11, 6, 15, 9, to 24. Oh, you're talking top to bottom? Yeah. Okay.
That's when we go to the lowest ones if they meet all the requirements of the spec. Okay, and if you could, same as the last one, add after staff review and for staff to execute the agreement.
All that.
Second.
Second? All in favor? All against?
Jackie, I'll pick those up from you after the meeting.
Okay. Right there.
Bessie Votal, resolution designated purchasing agent.
We do have resolution number, I think it's probably one, I don't think we're working on one yet.
No, Waterworks doesn't have any.
As, this resolution is for, according to our section 3701A of the ordinances, Common Council has designated the Board of Public Works and Safety as the purchasing agency for the city. In years past, the purchasing agent, was basically the mayor. This was suggested by Ice Miller to do a resolution for this board to designate in writing the purchasing agent as the mayor. So that's what this is about.
Does this mean the mayor can just purchase stuff without the board approval, or?
No, it just means that he's the one that will be the one that signs it. I mean, now we do it as president of the board of works, chairman of the board of works. But, now, if you want to review this further, you can, but it is in our purchasing statute, or I'm sorry, purchasing ordinance, which is under 37. In 98 was when the common council designated Board of Public Works and Safety.
So it's more or less housekeeping, or house cleaning, I should say.
So he'll just sign the paperwork that the board approved.
Correct.
What's that resolution number?
1.
Any question?
I'd like to request that this be tabled till the city council has a chance to review it.
This board works issue.
It couldn't be brought back to city council and changed under ordinances.
Might not be bad, too.
Just consideration to table till we have time to look at it.
Let the board want to do.
Like I said, this is all in relation to the two claims that were not passed by council for the Fall Fest. These are things that, our legal counsel recommended that we do. So that's my recommendation. There's another one coming up under the Fall Fest contract, so we'll just go over that at the same time if you'd like.
Board want to do.
I'm just going to go along with
Resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg designating Mayor Dennis Carr as the purchasing agent. Whereas pursuant to Section 3701A of the Code of Ordinances, City Code, City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana City, the Common Council of the City has designated the Board of Public Works and Safety Board as a purchasing agency for the city with all the powers and duties authorized under Indiana Code 522. Whereas Section 3701B of the City Code provides that the purchasing agency shall designate in writing the purchasing agent. And whereas the board now desires to designate Mayor Dennis Carr as a purchasing agent, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, that Section 1, Mayor Dennis Carr is hereby designated as a purchasing agent for the board. This designation shall be rescinded only upon adoption of a resolution by the board. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of this passage. Passed and adopted this 7th day of April, 2014.
Any board? Entertained motion.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All against?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Hold on. Stop. Okay. Mario,
Yes.
Aaron,
No.
Don.
Yes.
That's 2-1.
I'll go ahead and do the next resolution. I know it is kind of under old business, but this board did pass those claims that night, so if you want to wait till old business, I can. Again, this is pursuant to Section 3701A of the Code of Ordinances. The purchasing agency is the Board of Public Works and Safety. Section 3702 of the City Code provides that each agency and department may purchase services and whatever maintenance the purchaser determines to be reasonable. Whereas Mayor Dennis Carr previously determined to secure certain services to be performed during the 2014 Fall Fest, 2014, and it says 2014, Fall Fest. And those services are described, it is in 2014 Fall Fest. Those services are described in the two agreements attached here too as Exhibits A1 and A2, which are the agreements collectively. Basically, this was also recommended by Ice Miller to be passed tonight to basically ratify these contracts. Basically, so Fall Fest can proceed. That was part of their recommendation to me in order to proceed.
And the board? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? All against? Aye. Roll call, please.
Mario,
Yes.
Aaron?
No.
No. Dolly?
Yes.
I guess I do need to read it and pull it over. I did read it in full. The resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg approving and ratifying contracts for the 2014 Fall Fest. Whereas pursuant to Section 3701 of the Code of Ordinances of the City Code of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, City Common Council of the City has designated the Board of Public Works and Safety Board as the purchasing agency for the city with all the powers and duties authorized under Indiana Code 522. Whereas Section 3702 of the City Code provides that each agency and department may purchase services in whatever manner the purchaser determines to be reasonable. Whereas Mayor Dennis Carr has previously determined to secure certain services to be performed during the 2014 and 2015 Fall Fests, and those services are described in the two agreements attached here too, as Exhibits A1 and A2 agreements. Whereas Mayor Dennis Carr has executed the agreements on behalf of the city. Whereas the board has previously approved the payment of claims submitted pursuant to the agreements, and whereas the board now desires to approve and ratify the execution of agreements on its behalf. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, that Section 1, Board hereby approves the agreements attached for 2 and the prior execution by Mayor Dennis Carr is hereby approved and ratified. In Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage. Passed and adopted this 7th day of April, 2014.
Just have no motion.
Yeah, just that.
That's a
Second?
second.
All in favor? All against? Aye. Roll call.
Yeah, just a second. I'll get there. Let's do this with Dolly.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron?
No.
Mario?
Yes.
Okay. Any old business? Judge Evans, Clear Armor City Court.
Your Honor, I put this in a packet back, I believe, last month. Give everybody time to look at it. The judge, kind of give you an update. We had armored the police station windows, I believe, back in February. It was in the dark. Thought being, we probably need to make it a little safe back at the judge's chambers and also the reception area. And Judge, I'll let you go ahead and explain what you have.
Okay, first of all, I hate to come here and ask you guys for money, because it seems like every time I come here, somebody's trying to get the money out of the city of Lawrenceburg. And I have nothing against them trying, but my concern is my staff, is that they armored the front of the building, which was great, and as being a former police officer, retired officer, I thank the city of Lawrenceburg for thinking about our officers' safety. But the problem is that we do not have anybody in the police department or the city court checking somebody that comes in. Aaron, if you want to come in and pay a ticket, is it, can I see a ticket? Okay, through those doors, first window on the right.
nobody knows if you've got a pocket full of money or a pocket full of guns. And the Homeland Security in the last 5 years has reported that there has been 89, I think it's either 89 or 88 courtrooms throughout the United States have been attacked. Gunfire, people killed, and it's the safety for my staff, any of the attorneys that may come in, and, well, I guess me. But I have a device on my desk that I'm not worried about. But I am worried about my staff, the people that come in there, the attorneys, somebody that may be a judge pro tem for me. And I had asked the gentleman that owns the company if he would give me a price of what it would cost. And he called me and said, well, I got the estimate. I said, get a hold of Mario. He's in charge of the maintenance of the building because I don't have anything in my budget for this. If it comes up where we need to put it in the budget, maybe I could, but being that they've done it with the city, I would hope that you guys would consider doing it for the court building. And what that consists of is 3 windows, a door, and right underneath where the girls sit at the windows to take the fine money and make any other types of arrangements through the court, is that section there would be plated. And so that any shooting or whatever, God forbid, they wouldn't go through the wood and drywall. And that's basically what I'm here for tonight. And hope that you will entertain the idea that we can have that done to our courtroom.
Is this the cost of $8,000?
I think that's what it is. I really didn't see what the bid was. Mario told me tonight he thought it was around 8,000 or 8,800 or somewhere around there. I really wasn't sure. I had him contact Mario with the bid.
And I believe they're coming in town also to do, I think, Carl, they're doing some of your stuff also.
I think the county, and then they're stopping by to do some for us as well.
Yeah, they're doing the schools, yeah, and they're talking with the sheriff's department. This stuff, it's so amazing. It looks like a piece of plastic, and there's a coat that they put on, and it's just like you're putting on one of these vinyl things when you have a vinyl shop. You put that on. Now, come up and take, if anybody's familiar with handguns, 44 Magnum or 30-06 on the outside at point-blank range will not penetrate the glass. Now, from the inside out, if somebody comes in and shooting, you can shoot out and return fire if you're inside. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah.
And it's a good idea. They're talking about doing it up with the schools all over the place. This guy is so sure with it that it works that he has his home done. Of course, he owns the business. So,
How do you test it? That's my question.
I asked the same question. I said, you don't do like the guy did with Second Chance, put a vest on and shoot yourself. He says we tried it first with nobody behind it. And I said, I would hope. And but he said, yeah, they've had all kinds of business and replies to it. I know it's a chunk of change, but and you always think it's never going to happen here. Nobody thought it would happen in Aurora.
Yes, sir.
I thank you guys.
Some understand this. You can shoot them, they can't shoot you.
Yeah.
Still very good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's we want to do that.
Get the jail tax. It was already open, but
For professional services, engineering services, it's correct what Cindy from Cardinal came up last time and talked about. The statutes applicable to that is 52261. Government bodies may use any procedures they deem appropriate when contracting for services. Therefore, and I know this board previously, I think even when Mayor Carr first came in, or even before that, they had asked that everything go out for quotes and bids. Well, as Cindy was saying, it's impossible for this type of bid, because there is no set price at the end, okay? I mean, normally you have a project, you know, about what it's gonna cost, and you have that amount of money at the end. But with these services, they could spend 6 minutes on something, that they could spend 6 hours, and it's gonna be according to that hourly wage that be done. We talked back and forth about going ahead and reading all of them tonight, and you guys making your decisions, but you don't need to. It is not under the bid statute. It is actually exempted from the bidding procedures that we have to follow. There's even a case out of the city of Evansville confirming this. It's a 2010 case that the Supreme Court of Indiana also denied the transfer, meaning they approved it. The city is free to disregard criteria set forth in its bid announcement. Even though it said it was bid, because it was services, I think it was towing services in this matter, they can change their criteria, they can waive non-compliance, or decide not to do it at all. The only thing that's seen is a 2/3 vote to determine if these services are needed. So.
How do you do checks and balances?
On these, what do you mean on the engineering services? Just professional services? But you don't have to go by the lowest, or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know how they laid it out to you. You know, there were so many that, if you look at it, it looks like there was 82 out of 120 that Cardinal had the lowest, Terracon had 20. But that doesn't matter. I mean, it's basically up to you, up to the board to decide who you want for your engineering services. So.
One thing we got one right here in town, and I think we did pass a list of all possible people, work local with our local people.
So it didn't make sense. I mean, it would be very difficult for them to try to, well, first you'd have to know what the project was that they're working on, then you'd have to know how many hours you think you might put in. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, the only thing you can do on these type of services is give a hourly or however, you know, I think it's set as hourly rate, so.
What's the recommendation of Mr. Clark? He's going to review that.
There again, since we did go through the process, I think it's very evident with the firm that did have the best numbers, that's who we've used in the past. I think we do have a comfort level, and that proves that we're getting outstanding pricing from that firm. I would recommend Cardinal.
Anything report? Need a motion?
Then so moved.
Second? Clear?
Aye.
Yes?
Aye.
Roll call.
Meyer,
Yes.
Aaron,
No.
Donna.
Bid review, discuss claims, board approval.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Utility board, 5 minutes.
Thursday.
Board meeting order, roll call please.
President, Member Aaron Cook. Here. Member Bill Bruder is absent. Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member Gerald Holcraft.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Botal.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis is absent also. President Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? And then approve minutes of previous meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Let me take a quick look, Mayor, you know, I usually got something. Common Council, page 3.
It's Utility Board, Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, nothing. I'll second that motion, or put the motion out there for utility.
All right, you second? All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Bill's not here. Okay. New business, Mike Lawrence, confidential housing complaint.
Mel contacted me when he seen it was on the agenda, said he was gonna be out of town, said he was gonna take care of it. I had a call from a citizen, I guess it was on the shut off, and I guess there was an employee that talked to somebody about their bill and told them how much it was and everything else, and I got a call about it. So I bring it to the board.
Mel took care of it.
He said he would. I just asked for him maybe to have a talk with everybody in the department, just let them know.
Old business, Andy Lyons, change order high pressure transmission, main replacement.
Two change orders tonight, they should be in your packet. They're detailed. Contract A, high pressure water transmission main replacement. There's a deletion of a modular block wall with ground reinforcement. The deletion would be $9,600, and then an addition of a box culvert, additional cost of $23,591 for a total of $13,991. The change order is addition of box culvert, eliminates the need for modular block walls. Change order number 1 includes 18 linear feet of 5 foot by 6 foot precast box culvert, bedding, backfill up to 1 foot above box culvert, concrete debris catches, concrete toe wall, all grading including overflow channel as per drawings, wooden guardrail, labor, equipment, compacting fill, and all other miscellaneous items to complete work. It's been reviewed by the engineer and approved.
This change order will save the city money in the long run, right?
No.
It won't?
It will not. It's an additional cost of $13,991 at this point.
Where is that?
This is back in the bottoms area. It's, I guess the best way to describe it's going to be east of Fairview and north of Industrial Drive. So, no, I don't know when it's going to be done. No. They're actually moving along pretty well. They're waiting on, this change order is going to hold them up. This has been in the works for a couple of months now. I don't know why it took so long to get to the board, but it did. So they're going to be, as of next week, they're going to be waiting because of this. So they're still working up on the hill along 48, doing some services and tie-ins and what have you, but they have 2 crews on site, and this is holding one of them up as of next week.
I have one question pertaining to this change order. Down industrial where they dug that up, fill it back, don't think there's going to be any problem sliding while it's down there?
As you're traveling back on the left-hand side, they're not finished graded yet. So.
Any more change order?
It says in here that the excavator would use to excavate, set, backfill, grade, and place riprap, while the sole purpose of the crane will be set to the box culvert. This will be a substantial savings to the city. On the 3rd page.
Right, the substantial savings to the city that he's talking about is if we put in additional box culvert in lieu of wing walls.
Yeah.
The wing walls are not part of this $13,000 ad. The wing walls he quoted, or bid actually, for the change order, He bid $28,856 to do the wing wall work, and then he added that additional box culvert as an option to save us money. We feel like he has inflated his wing wall work because he would rather just do the box culvert work and the grading work. We think that the project's better served with the wing walls, and we're going to have the contractor complete those wing walls as a time and material under the owner's contingency part of the contract. So
That will come later, is what you're saying?
it'll be part of the same process, but it'll be a time and material addition. We have $50,000 in owner's contingency in the project. We haven't tapped that at all. That is part of the original contract, so we don't expect it to be more than $20,000 total on those wing walls, but
Plus the 13?
plus the 13. But the $50,000 is part of the original contract, so.
Mark the board. Your pleasure.
Motion that first change order.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. Second change order is contract B, main lift station first main replacement. Meter vault valves, fittings, tapping sleeve, and miscellaneous. Total cost of this change order, $54,812.24. Change order 1 covers added work for the hookup of proposed force main to the South Dearborn Sewer wastewater treatment plant. Added work including the installation of a meter vault, valves, fittings, tapping sleeve into existing 36-inch force main, telemetry hookup, and other miscellaneous work. This has also been reviewed and approved by the engineer.
Board? Okay, motion.
Make a motion to approve the second.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Thank you.
Review and discuss claims for approval.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Member Jane Poe.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner is absent. Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member J.R. Holcraft.
Here.
Sergeant Nick Myers.
Here.
Okay. Is there, okay. Deputy Fire Chief Rob Shue.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Bozo. Here. Utility Director Mel Davis is absent. Mayor Dennis Carr. And myself.
The announcements, yeah, I have one. There'll be a loan committee meeting held Thursday, April 17th at 4:30 in Council Chamber. Yeah, replacing the one for tomorrow. Purpose of the meeting is to discuss loans with the city. So one tomorrow will be canceled, this is the new one they do.
I have one announcement.
Go ahead.
If we could ask the newspaper to print it, that our residents do not have to buy city garbage cans.
Anyone?
Okay, I have 2 or 3 here. One is, I just want to announce that the Little League opening day parade is April 26th at 10. That also includes the dedication of Denny Lewis Field and the memorial plaques. And at 10 o'clock.
What's that date?
426.
Yeah. And then I've been contacted by several people to see if the city would be interested in putting a bike rack around the corner of Walnut and High, somewhere where it would look nice, because a lot of people come off the trail. They want to eat at those few restaurants right there now, and their bikes are falling on the sidewalk. So if we could get a bike rack right there at that 4-way stop where it's somewhere where it would look nice.
We do have some racks coming for the events that will sit on the corner of Walnut and High.
Okay. And then third thing was, this was missed at the Board of Works. I don't know if council can do it or not. It got overlooked because it wasn't on the agenda, but it's the work in pest control for the year. And it says that they will do the Agner Hall, Lawrenceburg City Hall / Utility, Lawrenceburg Clerk Treasurer's Office, Lawrenceburg Fire EMS, Lawrenceburg Police Department, Parks Building, Lawrenceburg Electric Department, Waterworks Building, and Ludlow Hill Firehouse. For the price is the same as last year at $350 per building. I don't know if the board would be interested in improving that or.
Well, that's contract, Board of Works, this wasn't on the agenda.
Who does it now? Does Orkin do that now?
Right.
Okay, well, who did it before? Oh.
Well, we've got the contract for the termite, this is the added spray for the spiders and everything that comes in during the early summer.
Keep on with next meeting, okay?
They can.
Yeah. We'll bring it next board with me.
Do we have any contract with Terminex at all anymore?
No.
Okay, any more announcements?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, approve minutes, previous meeting.
I just want to go on the city council minutes to page 3. Suzanne Orndorff, number 7, down at the bottom, additional appropriation. The appropriation that she put out was incorrect for, I believe it was for Lawrenceburg Community Schools for the gymnasium loan at 8.9.
What's the line item change?
And it should be 8.99.
Right, and that's what I was going to
The additional's
say.
coming up at the next meeting for the rest of it.
Well, I just wanted to point out that it was even addressed at that meeting by one of the council people that said we were putting the wrong appropriation through. It should be 8.99, and we still did it at 8.9.
I lost that second 9 about 2 months ago, when we first started talking about it. It's gonna be fixed. It'll
And that's
come out.
something that the attorney should have recognized and pointed out, and that's something that Jackie should have been prepared and taken care of.
That was something that she had already put in the paper to advertise for the.
And she advertised it wrong, but it should have been advertised right, and we need to quit making these mistakes.
There's another ordinance in front of you tonight for the extra 90, so.
Is that tonight?
Yes.
Okay, any more, Jane?
Oh, yeah, it is.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. If you add that the 8.9 was approved and the correct amount that should have been approved was 8.99.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Meeting reports. Speak out.
I'm sorry, was that the ordinance that was written up?
It was appropriation.
The additional appropriation last time. Yeah, this is an ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speak out and curves, Aaron Cook.
2 things. One is there's a sign by Lawrenceburger. It's US 50 in front. It's knocked over and the signs are bent up too.
That's the state sign. They were made aware of it last Thursday when somebody ran it over.
Okay.
They're supposed to come and replace it.
Okay. And the other one is actually, it's in the alley between UCB and that grass lot. It's the do not enter to go up to 50 is knocked over.
That is our sign.
That's all.
Mayor, I got one. We got a sign in front of the new townhouses on Walnut Street that says 2-hour parking only. That's residential area. Can that sign be removed?
Take it down, that's what a parking ordinance states right now at this time.
But that is residential right there with it.
That's what the parking ordinance states, Jane.
So they only allowed to park 2 hours in front of their own home?
Right now, per the ordinance, yes, that's why they have rear drive access and full basement and garage. Now, you guys can amend that if you feel that it would be beneficial.
I thought we talked about only on High Street 2-hour parking.
We didn't agree to Walnut Street.
The ordinance already said.
We talked about on High Street where the signs were not up, but there again, what the ordinance states is what we have to follow, not what we talk about. And like I say, if you guys want to look at the ordinance, you guys can revise that however you choose.
I understand about following the ordinance and what I'm all about.
I know the one block on High Street was done, but we had mentioned the other from Short to Mary's. That is the sign guy back yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is he?
But I had a few businesses that, questioned why there weren't some down yet, both directions.
Then if he's back, we'll get on. I know the last time I talked to him, he was gonna be off for a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Yard Crowd Finance.
Fourth in the back.
Dover River Fire Department, one here. Police Department, sorry.
No report, Mayor.
Fire Department, Rob Shady.
What was in the packet, everything should be up there, same as what was in the Board of Works, and also request if I can be excused, I'm down one guy tonight, there's a last minute change for the chief, I need to get back on duty, but it's okay unless you need me to stay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
No report, Mayor.
You will stay on. No protection. Building Department, Carl Klein.
No reports.
New business. I'm gonna move Todd George up because he's got a presentation to put on. It's probably gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna move him up above. It's about an Lawrenceburg Convention Center and Hilton Hotel out there.
Please. Or just perfect. Good evening. Thank you for hearing us tonight. I'd like to introduce a few people, if I may. With me tonight, I have Tina Bojack, our sales manager. I have not all these people, but Greg Tufts is here, our director of food and beverage. I have Ken Schwamm, our director of facilities. Tonight, I just wanted to give everybody an update. Some of you have seen this before. We've updated it since we closed the month of March, and wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what we're doing with the DoubleTree by Hilton. So in front of you, I couldn't even read that from here either. But what you would see there, I think a lot has been made about what's going on with the casino revenues in this area. With all the new properties opening up in Ohio, it's really kind of compacted the market. Ohio numbers came out today. Again, another decent month for them, driven a lot by marketing dollars, and there's a competitive advantage that they have as well as a tax advantage that they have. But the story that's not really out there is the hotel story, the occupancy of the hotel. And what you'll see here, if you could, would be that the current month, this is the last one we have, it was for the month of January. The occupancy in the competitive set was about 47%. That's the occupancy of all the hotel rooms in the area. The running 3 months is actually down to 45%, and the running 12 months is at 58%. So what that's showing is a trend that shows that the demand for hotel rooms is coming down. So when we start looking at that, this shows a little bit more. There's obviously seasonality and weather in there, but you'll see a normal downward trend dating all the way back to 2011. And then again with some upticks based on the way the weekends fall, holidays fall, and seasonality and weather, especially this last one. So when we were looking at that and looking at what we were going to do to fill rooms down here and be able to draw visitors to the area,
we looked at outsourcing, basically getting a flag that we would run, but we would be able to utilize their reservation system, their booking engine, their familiarity online with all the travel engines that are out there. So when we met with DoubleTree by Hilton, we looked at all the brands, Waldorf Astoria, Conrad being the #1 and #2 luxury brand there, but DoubleTree being really right at the top after that. The DoubleTree brand started in January '69, and in August of 2013, it's up to 350 hotels, 30 countries on 6 continents. Why this demographic that they reach is important to all of us. The goal for bringing the convention center in, the goal for bringing this hotel in is really to drive traffic to this area. So when we start looking at brand demographics, what the DoubleTree allows us to do, target a group of people, over 50% are between 35 and 54. Those are the people that you would want. Those are the people with the income that make the ancillary spend. 42% of these guys have incomes between $100,000 and $200,000. These are people that are willing to extend a trip, that are not just here on business, but will also stay another day or come in a day early and then get to know the area a little bit better. 63% are married, 38% have children. 67% are male. So all of those factors are the demographics that you look to kind of drive decision-making, to drive additional spend outside of the normal meetings that they're in town for. 33% of the H Honors guests are what Hilton calls loyal mid-career travelers. Another big opportunity for us is to drive that loyalty. So typically what you'd see is they would come in for a business meeting first, and then the opportunity, if we do this right, is to get them back when they have their family with them or when they're on a leisure trip. The DoubleTree media target, again, pretty even split between male and female. The age 25 to 34 really helps out a lot. They are interested in most alternative advertising. They're first to try product or service, so if you can get these guys in here, we're more apt to get them back here. They really are the spring breakers. They're a good source of vacation travel advice. They're what you would call the influencers. They're the ones that can help make decisions for others. They are their own travel agent. They are the ones that are using the Expedia, the Travelocity. They prefer traveling to places that they've never been. So there's a good opportunity here to drive business out of the normal metropolitan area and drive them here. As with all this, the spouse has significant impact on brand choice. That is something that they're very familiar with. I'm going to hit that wrong button one more time. DoubleTree Toolkit, what's in it for all of us, really helps out where we can come out of the gate rather quickly. At Hilton, they've got an outdoor airport advertising, breakfast items, dining room, telephone, rate cards, all of those things. It's basically plug and play, so it helps basically jumpstart when you're opening up. Why this brand, why this company fits well with what we're trying to do here. They look at 3 key stakeholders. Their CARE program, creating a rewarding experience. It focuses on the team member, the guest, and the community in which they work in. Property facts, hopefully by now everybody's familiar with it, and several of you, I believe, have gone on tours. But there's 168 guest rooms with 12 suites, 35,000 square feet of convention space. It is a full-service hotel, including room service and a restaurant. We'll have a Hilton Honors floor, state-of-the-art fitness center, a business center, and then really amazing views of the Ohio River. The benefits of this brand, training. At Penn, the Hollywood property here was near the very bottom and dead last in some areas, as recent as 2 or 3 years ago when it comes to service. This last year, this property has been the largest gainer in all of Penn on service and training. So it's something that all of us are buying into and something that we can continue with Hilton. It is extremely important in this competitive set that we have that benefit. Their standards are nationally recognized. The brand recognition of an established 45-year-old brand helps drive business. Tina will give you an update on what we're seeing from a sales standpoint in just a moment. I will tell you, we had most of the people from Hilton in about a month ago, and their takeaway after leaving here was this can be one of their flagship properties. So it should be a very good relationship for all of us that are here tonight. Initiatives and programs, for those of you that have stayed at a DoubleTree before, the cookie, 325 calorie small cookie is what they start out with. They got the DoubleTree breakfast, great amenities, great bed. Again, the care culture, everybody working together to bring that through. The brand training and learning, and also it's something that, the way I always look at this, you have the opportunity to train the trainer. I've worked with other companies outside of the casino industry and the hospitality industry, and being able to learn from the Four Seasons and the Ritz-Carlton and the Hilton, it's really something we can all learn from, and I think it can become a tool for the city and the businesses here. The DoubleTree by Hilton Fitness, it's again something that we hear a lot of up at the hotel up there. It can help us touch a new customer that's not coming here now. And then obviously the deluxe room accessories. These are just some of the brand features. Again, they start out with the cookie because it's a warm welcome, a shared experience, a piece of home, an indulgence, a comfort, a gift. So well thought out, great first impression. Again, that's the bed, some of the amenities, and then their H Honors program. So what's happened in the hospitality industry, in the casino industry, you've got a couple of major companies out there that really are focusing on a loyalty program. And those companies, I would say, especially from a regional area, are the Horseshoe, the Pinnacle properties, and the Penn properties. So we all, have our own strengths and our own opportunities where we can improve. With Hilton in the hotel industry, this is probably the premier plan and something that drives more than any other regional player. Food and beverage amenities that we'll have, a 3-meal period restaurant and bar, restaurant seating for 100 guests inside, bar seating for 30, outside seating for 75. Room service will be offered from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. A Starbucks, we probably brew coffee shop. What that means is basically we're using Starbucks beans as well as recipes. 2 concession areas in the event center, multi-purpose room. Again, on the restaurants, this is something that I believe the city and everybody went out to put this to bid and see if there was a third party that wanted to come in and take on this. We did not receive any interest, so we'll be running it ourselves. What are we doing from a job standpoint? We've got job fairs coming up at Ivy Tech as well as Florence Freedom in the northern Kentucky area to try to continue to bring the best people into here to work and to live. Types of positions, we'll have supervisor and hourly, hotel and food and beverage. Advertising to begin late April this month. May, June, and August, we'll start seeing the job fairs. The reason for the timing of that, the Pinnacle property in Ohio opens up the very first weekend of May. It opens up on Derby weekend. So our goal is to be able to advertise after they get open, kind of steal some of their opening thunder and bring people back focused on what we're doing down here. As it stands now, Hollywood Casino has approximately 650 employees from Indiana, 75% of those employees living in Dearborn County. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Tina, and then I'll be back to wrap it up.
Thank you, Todd. We're very excited from the sales and marketing standpoint. Currently, right now, we have 24 events with over 7,000 attendees on the calendar. Our sales force is executing an aggressive and sales and marketing plan. We are involved in numerous organizations, MPI, Meeting Planners International, NACE, National Association of Catering Executives, and of course, all of the CVBs, both Dearborn County, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, and also Ontario Motor Coach Association and American Bus Association, along with Heartland and PWG, which is Perfect Wedding Guide. In 2014, we plan on hosting about 2 to 4 concerts with many more to follow in 2015. As far as Todd's touched on the Hilton brand, it's so important from a sales and marketing standpoint, and it really is exciting because of the brand, we have access to a robust lead generation that is enabling us a whole set of accounts over 56 accounts that have been identified of people that we can go after. If we are having difficulty closing that business, Hilton will come in and assist us with that. And that is very unique. So we're very excited about that. Most currently, we just captured a new client from that lead generation system, being Amazon. We are also appearing and speaking at various associations.
I screwed up that. Oh. Yeah, same thing. Down there.
All right. Our sales team is comprised of myself. I'm handling the Kentucky territory as well as the partner with Hilton. We also have a sales manager handling the Indiana territory and a sales manager over Ohio and Reddings. Again, as far as our memberships, we are out at different networking events, serving on different boards. I've mentioned most of these. Some of it I've not mentioned. BNI, Business Network International. We were at BizWomen this morning at 7:30 over in Kentucky, and OSAE, Ohio Society of Account Executives, as well as the Association of Bridal Consultants. So currently, right now, we have 20 events confirmed, which equate to 1,273 room nights. As far as the room revenue, generating currently $162,000 with the function revenue of $231,000. And in our pipeline right now, under prospect, we have $186,000, which we're actively trying to close that business. Our goal is to hit $500,000 by May 1st, indefinite confirmed business, signed, sealed with contracts. And the events really are a mixture. We have everything from weddings to financial groups, association, antique car show, reunions. We just secured actually a 1,100 holiday corporate party that will occur in our multi-purpose room. So quite an array of events. And with the weddings, we're finding that the brides really like that second area. If you've been through the event center where all the windows are, which we're referring as a solarium, is actually an area where they would like to have their reception. So quite exciting. And of course, I mentioned the concerts. And then we're looking at hosting family movie nights, free movie nights of all ages. So again, the Hilton is behind us every step of the way. They have a worldwide sales team that's already begun to capture interest. So that is also very exciting. They've provided local leads that we've already gone out and been able to have face-to-face appointments. And like I mentioned, we were able to capitalize on Amazon. And then I will be going out as well as the general manager of the hotel for training through Hilton. And I also have brochures for anyone, so anyone that would like a tour, I'll be here after. I'll give you my business card. We'd love to set that up. And we're just very excited.
Thanks.
Back to Todd.
Thank you. So, that's really what we've been working on from a DoubleTree standpoint, from an event center standpoint. So the big issue for us is we put all this out there, we try to get there, but right now where the numbers are at, it's time we start looking at what's realistic and what's not. So there is going to be a potential budget shortfall, and the Veritas Group, the city, ourselves are trying to trim things out of there, but to do all of what we need to do to compete in this type of environment, which is very different than from when this agreement was inked in 2011, I believe. It's going to be going back and saying, how much more money is this? And right now, that number is somewhere between $5 and $6 million potentially. So I've gone back to Penn. I'm going back to Penn again next week and for some meetings in Las Vegas to talk to them about reallocating some capital for this current year, and that will, hopefully close that gap by north of $1 million, just because it is going to be necessary to have this type of project there. But tonight, I'll answer any questions. Any staff that's here can answer any questions, as well as Veritas or Messer that's here that hopefully can answer any questions as well.
Questions? Anybody have any questions from the audience?
It's like one of our pep rallies. Okay.
Todd, thank you.
Thank you.
Staff. Angela Smith, Lawrenceburg High School After Prom Committee donation.
Hello, my name is Angela Schmidt, and I'm here, first of all, to thank you for your generous donation for last year, but as a representative of the junior parents of Lawrenceburg High School, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're putting on the after prom. It's on May 2nd. We have a little bit of difficulty this year with the gym being gone, so we're going to have some things are going to be cramped, and we're going to have some different types of activities, more of the inflatables and things to try to get the kids there. Last year, with your donation, we were able to be fairly successful. We increased the number of students from 170 to 225, so we went, a lot more students attended. We opened it up, and we had, I don't know, I guess the students were able to play the games. Everyone got a prize, and I guess that's it. Didn't have any incidents. Everybody was safe, and most of the studies that have been conducted show that when there is an after-prom event, it keeps the students from engaging in risky behavior, drug use, drinking, that kind of thing.
You keep them there to a certain time, correct?
We do. We had planned to make it longer, but this year the prom is going to be at the Syndicate, so it's going to be off campus, and the students, by the time they get back, it'll be 12. So they'll stay to 4 or 4:30. Last year, even though we ended it then, it ended up about 5:30, and they were all gone. But we basically have a lockdown, and the principal and assistant principal, they help with the security, and we haven't had any issues like that. But the students are fairly tired, but they still seem like they have fun.
Have you ever caught Mr. Gailey in the inflatables?
No, but they did come up with a new use for the twister. It's a nice square, and so the kids found that was a good place to go to sleep and hang out instead of playing twister. It was, but they seem like they have a lot of fun.
I got a question. It says you received money from the Community Foundation. You marked yes, and you marked 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we gave you, right? You didn't actually receive money from the Community Foundation, or have you?
No, I did get $3,000 for the youth grant. We just got that.
You've got that for the past 6 years?
And we're only allowed to use that for the food. We can only use it for I think that's right, the food and the inflatables. The inflatables, just for those things, they're around $4,000 to $5,000, so they're kind of expensive. And then for the entertainment and the food, we try to do the cheapest we can, but.
So they on board with you for 3,000 again this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And the inflatables are 4,000 to 5,000.
We have to get a few more this year. We're we're gonna do like another photo booth because the kids will, just try to give them more variety to do. They're gonna be cramped a little bit, so we're using some of the, like the engineering room. It's a fairly large room. We did a trivia game in there, and I think we're gonna have some other tattoo artists and
What we
some
gave
things.
last year, 'cause I can't remember.
He gave us 6,000 last year.
He gave you 6,000 last year?
Mm-hmm.
City marketing still got a high number. Suzanne, can you check on that real quick,
I don't
please?
think it's set up to run the marketing department, I don't think it's set up to run it.
It always was in the past. We've used it this year and we used it last year.
We never had a marketing director, we never had a marketing director, never was a
I know, but the rules haven't changed just because we got a marketing director.
That department head probably have involved in it.
City marketing has 148,000.
I make a motion that we give LHS after school prom $6,000 from city marketing.
Second.
All in favor? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Dale Reinhardt, American Diabetes Association donation.
This is yours.
Thank you, Council. My name is Dale Reinhardt. The past 2 years I've been riding with the American Diabetes Association. I've been a diabetic since 2000. They had changed the route this year. The route used to be in Lebanon, Ohio to Lebanon Raceway, and they went around to Lebanon. This year they moved it to Milford, Ohio. There's 4 different rides. There's a 5-mile, a 25-mile, a 50-mile, and a 100-mile. It all takes place in and around Milford, Ohio. Past 2 years, the city of Lawrenceburg has donated $200 towards the cause of diabetes, and I'm just here tonight to ask for another donation for the same cause.
Anything for?
Worthwhile organization, and how much did we give you last year?
200, I believe.
200?
I'm also here to ask if anybody wants to ride with me. They're more than welcome.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Anybody who wants to ride with me is more than welcome to tag along. If you can ride a bike from here to Roy, you can ride the 5-mile in Milford, Ohio.
Can go ahead and join.
I just had back surgery. When is it?
May 21st.
And I've had 18 weeks worth of recovery. But yes, I would love to be able to do that.
It says June 21st.
This is June, okay, it's June 21st too.
Good therapy. I make a motion to give him $500 for his American Diabetes Association from city marketing.
Is there a second? Is there a second? I'd like a second. Sorry, Dale.
All right.
Can I make another motion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Because I've been all about cutting, spending, the money revenues going down. I'll make a motion to donate $75 from council.
Council has $14,500 in it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Anybody else have any other suggestion?
I'd say let's go up to the 200.
Yeah, well, I said, put 200 out for council donation.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Got your 200.
200, okay.
I'll know what you got.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Dan Toon, Dearborn Highland Arts Council, donation. Dan's not here? Okay. Lori Martin, Jim Crook, Englewood Place, donation.
I'm Lori Martin. I'm the regional property manager for Englewood Place Apartments located at 60 Dowdy Road. We are a senior low-income rural development community. Our community has 26 out of 40 rental-assisted units, which makes the rents and utilities very affordable for the limited income person to live comfortably. In 1993, Village Management Company and Rural Development merged together to build the elderly complex. During the construction, our company, Rural Development, and the city building inspectors of Lawrenceburg was confident that the building was securely built on the hill. Well, the past few years, we have been experiencing numerous problems which are indicating the building is moving down the hill. At this point, we hired Eric Lang of Lang Consultants to evaluate the problem. Our fears came true, and we are facing monumental financial issues. I will let Eric come up in just a minute. As we have stated, we are a low-income community with limited funds and are unable to come up with the kind of money needed to repair that would secure the homes of 40 elderly citizens. We have a letter from Rural Development explaining our financial status and that the federal government is not lending any money for this particular program. We are here this evening to ask the town for financial assistance in order to stop any displacement of our senior, handicapped, and disabled residents. We have the privilege of housing 40 of our elderly, handicapped, and disabled citizens for the past 21 years, which I would like to stop and take a moment to ask our wonderful concerned citizens that have came to support us this evening on asking financial assistance. Could you please stand? They all are very concerned on whether or not their homes will be available once, if this progresses as it seems, which Eric will take the floor and be able to go over the significance of our building sliding.
I'm not sure if you get copies of this or not, I just brought in a case. So that it's something.
We've worked with Eric Lang with Lang Consultants. We've worked in collaboration with Don Thielen, who has been a geotechnical engineer involved with this project since its inception, as well as GEI Engineering, who does a lot of structural work for us. We are the local representative for Englewood and have tried to kind of put this together and get a feel for what is going on. This building has had a history of coming down the hill, and the wall that is nearest to Wendy's, or that side of the road down there, has both vertically moved over time as well as kind of a tilting motion. Approximately 10 to 12 years ago, there were some buttress walls that were installed at the base of that foundation, and that appears to have stopped the tilting moment of that wall, but the wall still is moving down the hill, but staying in its vertical orientation. The largest reason that we have seen in our study as to why this wall is moving down the hill, and thus the building with it, is there is a railroad tie retaining wall, which you may have seen behind Wendy's on the very edge of the sidewalk there, and that railroad tie retaining wall is basically toppling over. When you look at the way the foundation of the building is situated in relation to the railroad tie retaining wall, you find that the soil that railroad tie retaining wall is retaining is actually within the area of influence of that large building's foundation. Railroad tie retaining walls are great for putting flower beds in, but they're not meant to hold buildings up. Our approach that we are proposing is to permanently stabilize that slope with a piered wall that has been designed by Thielen, and that piered wall would replace that existing railroad tie wall and stabilize that slope so that the building would no longer move down the hill, and it would stabilize that and lock it into place. As it is right now, we can tell just from our engineering assessment of the soils and of the building that it is in a precarious position. I can't at this point tell you how fast it'll move down the hill, how long it will take for it to be at a point where it's damaged substantially further more than it already is. But what I can tell you is that it's not going to be any cheaper to fix it than it is now. It's not going to get any cheaper in the future, and it will likely only get more expensive as additional damage occurs to the building. This is a permanent fix that we've designed. I think the buttress walls that were installed 10, 12 years ago have fixed one portion of the problem, but the railroad tie retaining walls and the relationship to the building is something that still needs to be repaired. So we have put this out for competitive bid. We have two local contractors that put a bid in, as well as another firm out of Cincinnati, and I don't have the figures in my head, but I believe...
You guys have these in the books that I put together, all the cost, and there's also plans in the back.
The two local firms came within a few $1,000s of one another, and the third firm was $10,000 or $15,000 higher. So I'm certain we've got a good number between those three firms, and we have pretty much a choice between the two, because like I said, they're a few $1,000s apart. Correct, 127, I think it was right around 130 was what the numbers we had seen.
This will stop the building from moving, you think?
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Leslie. Go ahead. Leslie, what's your feelings on, on the saving money on this project? I went through State Board of Accounts audits, 2005, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. And those all say you can't spend public funds on improvements to property not owned by governmental units unless permitted by statute, federal or state requirements. And public funds may not be used to pay for personal items or for expenses which do not relate to the functions and purposes of the governmental unit. Any personal expenses paid by the governmental entity may be the personal obligation of the responsible official or employee.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this briefly. I do agree. We have been, we've been asked before, and the State Board of Accounts has done on an audit on several different instances. So I would agree with what you said. Now, as far as whether or not this is something that could go through, you know, our foundation, community foundation, that might be the vehicle to do it. And you said you have not approached them as far as the community foundation, is that correct?
No. They're not a non-profit, they're not a 501c3.
Who's the owner of this?
Well, it's rural development and village management company.
I'm sorry, who is it?
I'm sorry, it's rural development and management and village management company.
But it is a for-profit, privately owned company.
The difference between a for-profit and a nonprofit is a return to owner, which is around $2,000 to $4,000 per year. That's the only difference.
And this is not federally subsidized?
This is federally subsidized. And the program, the loans that we have, will not allow the limited partners to put in money into it unless they are paying off the mortgage to the federal government. So it would not be money that would go through the hands of village management. It would have to be done through, hopefully, the city, directly to whoever would be doing the work. And that's the only way that the federal government would not take the money and pay off the mortgage. Because any money allocated to them, that's their first priority, is to, of course, pay off their mortgage.
I'd like to hear Grant and Mr. Todd's comments on this.
I was speaking with you earlier about, we kind of inherit that problem on that slip up there due to the old Route 48 drainage issue. I think the state had came in before they rescinded over to us and tried to do a fix to it. When was it? 07. And just this last year, or year before, we did do some drainage improvements along with the property owner. They definitely have a problem there. Again, we kind of inherit the problem from the state. They tried to fix it or somewhat attempted to reroute the drainage, stop the surcharge on them.
So whether that you inherit, whether that problem becomes our problem because they transferred the road to us, that's what you're saying?
Well, again, it was slipping when they had it, and it's slipping well.
And as a result, now that it's in our hands, it's still slipping, so is it our responsibility to help? And if we can get a way to get around it, to do it legally. And Mario suggested something to bring in.
Well, there's some monitoring wells that are actually sitting on that property. It'd be my recommendation, maybe Eric and them have used those wells, I don't know if they're active or not.
Thielen had some monitoring points there, and we used them purposely because Thielen's been involved since day one. So as a result of that, we had some additional borings taken, and he dug out his old file and came up with the design that you see there. So as far as someone that has been involved in this project from day one and kind of knows the pitfalls and what's happened and what needs to happen in the future to try to fix this, I don't think you could ask for a better person to weigh in and assist in the design.
Mike, you have something?
Yeah, just a thought, since this is a privately owned for-profit company, would they be eligible to come in front of the loan committee for a low-interest loan? I mean, that may...
Again, the low-interest loan would go to, and if it was funneled into the property, it would go into paying the mortgage.
You know, it might be better if the actual property owner was down here, might be able to help you guys out a little bit more.
Pardon me?
I would need to check out to see exactly what you're talking about as far as, is that through the FHA?
Right. And it, like I said, it is something that it would not be able to be funneled through the property. I mean, the money would never be able to come into our hands. That's what I'm saying.
Never maintain the property if you can't borrow money to fix it or...
Well, boy, that would be something for the federal government to, legislators to be able to go in.
About against any of the citizens, it's what they say we can't do, so...
It's just, I can't answer those questions because...
Capital improvements period did.
We have a reserve request that we have exhausted on our roof. Our rents are extremely low. We have a very, very tight budget, and we have capital improvements which is a reserve request, and we just exhausted it by taking care of our roof. I mean, it's not a high a high-profit type of organization. You know, we're here for low-income housing. In fact, the biggest profit that the owner ever makes is the $2,000 to $4,000 per year. You know, it is for the elderly, handicapped, and disabled to live in a comfortable, rents to where they can afford to live comfortably. And it's not a high profit, you know, I mean, I realize you're probably looking at it as the owner making big money by having a low-income housing, and it doesn't work that way. So $130,000 is not even within our reach.
But for an emergency, the federal government, through whether agency, doesn't have
then it will be tore down and it'll be considered a loss to the government, and the 40 residents will lose their homes. That's why we came to you. We've exhausted everywhere else. We have been working on this for 2 years, and you guys are our last resort.
Is there any way we could go through the 10-county grant program under housing and then the contractor draw where the money will go straight to them?
We've had no housing projects in the 10 county.
I understand that, but can we maybe?
That would be something for the board.
Well, and I do think it's probably,
I mean, they're in Lawrenceburg.
That's something we can necessarily look at I don't know. I don't know the semantics of us inheriting the maintenance of 48 includes any, you know what I'm saying, any
I'm saying it
claims.
doesn't include those adjacent properties, but the problem existed back when the state had 48, when the slip started.
Here's my question, which I talked to Jim about. Maybe this should be a redevelopment issue?
Possibility there.
The retention of how many residents?
We have 40 residents.
I'm sure they shop, eat, and buy here in Lawrenceburg, correct?
Yes.
Way to look at things.
And we do have
redevelopment,
employees.
Which that would be, we'd have to get legal here to figure out. But these things that I've researched,
That'd be the best avenue to probably go.
That's what I was also thinking.
You got, council had to fund it. What are you gonna?
Well, redevelopment, there's enough money.
yeah, they got it.
There's money in redevelopment right now.
Won't you look research it?
They have a meeting coming up.
Monday.
Actually, Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
Next Monday. Here.
Can you get on the agenda?
40 residents are home.
No, and we have, like I said, we have serviced them for 21 years successfully. We have 100% occupancy most of the time, and the residents, as they can contest, they're here, love where we live. And when I did just some statistics, right now, I mean, you have 31% that are elderly, handicapped, and disabled living in this community. I mean, it's something that, you know, it's all going to happen to all of us. We're all going to be living in limited incomes, and that's what we're focusing on.
Graham, look and see what we do.
Did you call?
Yes, sir.
Connie at the city building, 532-3500, and asked to get on the agenda for next Monday's redevelopment?
Okay, I'll be here.
Because it's a different board, you have to explain it to them.
As far as the packets go, we can make sure so we can give those back to you so they can distribute to the redevelopment, right? So you don't have to pay for the cost again.
We have it costing.
Oh, those two, okay?
We can give them the grant, he can vote and then run it back.
Here's that, I'll give this back to,
Are you on redevelopment?
I'll keep he's on the.
Yeah, that's true.
Aaron's on there.
That's true. There's a lot of different people on the boards, all people, we just need to get one, Mr. Brian.
Where's Donnie at? How's he going?
We'll see what we do through redevelopment. I don't see people that are already going.
we don't want to.
We'll see what we can do.
I was gonna say, you could give us the Connie.
Donnie and Colin want you to need one now.
I'll have mine now.
I've got mine and Mike and JR also.
Mike, thank you for that suggestion.
Thank you. That's what those are, two notices, tort claims, letter from LCD.
Those are just in your packet for your information. One was from the fall class last year, and one is from Mr. Taylor. Both of those were forwarded to sites. I did actually receive a letter back, just a receipt of me giving them to them from GIE on Mr. Taylor's. That's just a receipt. What this is within 180 days of the actual, the alleged incidents, they have to file a notice of tort claim if they're going to file a suit against the city. Both of them did so in the 180-day time period, and they have 2 years to file suit.
Is this something that the board's gonna have to make a decision to go forward, or?
Well, I mean, nothing happens if they file a notice of claim and then don't file suit, there's no harm, no foul, you know what I'm saying? This just reserves their right when you're filing a tort claim against the city to be able to, this is a requirement before they can file suit.
So the council doesn't do that?
Not yet. If we get sued, then that's, you know.
And it looks like, I guess, the one is for $92,518.95. And the other one is for $3 million.
Correct.
And the one that involved the Fall Fest incident, that's an insurance company against?
Yeah, I turned both of them in because I know, I mean, I don't know that they necessarily will cover these. That's why when I get these, they go straight to sites. They have not confirmed.
Fall Fest had a different insurance company than Sites.
Yeah, it was Farm Bureau last year.
You're right. Generally against the city of Lawrenceburg, if that's something I need to forward to Farm Bureau, that's the same entity they're using. Farm Bureau, who's our contact there?
Loretta Day at Farm Bureau.
Loretta Day?
Yeah.
Okay. She also.
So you don't know if there's any coverage on?
No, not on the Fall Fest. Like I said, and they didn't confirm coverage on Mr. Taylor's, they just said that they received it and they're looking into it. But normally, we don't even, they'll just send an acknowledgement that we sent it out. It's actually when the suit's filed is when, you know. The last thing is a letter from Overseas District Attorney Richard Butler, returning payments according to the development agreement and the lease that we have with Lawrenceburg Conservancy District. This is important. I did get a notice from Mr. Butler last year, the end of last year, that they would be filing a declaratory action to make the lease void. What that means for us is that we could be breaching our development agreement, which is how Lawrenceburg gets their money. We have done lots of research into this. As well as Ice Miller, concerning this, his contentions in here. We do not believe that the lease is void, for many reasons. But again, we can't do anything until there's something actually filed. But this does show that they are intending to file. They return they get approximately $41,600 per month for the $500,000 that they receive a year from our development agreement money. So they returned $123,000, I guess, with these payments.
And yours and Ice Miller's opinion is not void?
Correct. Correct. This 4/8/12.
Who actually owns the land? The city of Lawrenceburg or the Conservancy District?
Conservancy District owns a portion of the land that the new boat sits on. And where the old boat was too, right? But the most important part is where there's a whole, and it's only a strip of the building, basically, but they own the land that it's on. The lease was done back in '96, along with the development agreements.
So by this letter, or is the LCD giving up their rights to that land?
No.
Or they're just saying that the
basically
original
saying
agreement was void?
The original agreement is void, which then therefore makes, if that's true, that makes our sublease to Hollywood, any of the game transaction lease to void.
Which is not good.
Which is not good at all, which could cause us to reach
So-
the development agreement.
Why haven't we had somebody on top of this?
This was actually voted on, or brought up by Mr. Butler at their October meeting, and voted at their
He
November.
said, you just said he notified you a year ago.
No, I said last year.
Last year.
Last year, the end of last year. November, whatever date their November meeting was, there was a motion, that passed 4-0, I believe, that said, it was for Mr. Laurie, that said for Mr. Butler to proceed, with whatever legal action he deemed necessary as far as this board lease. So, I just got those minutes, 2 weeks ago. So, I saw in the October where they had brought it up, but I didn't get the other, meeting minutes until, a couple weeks ago, so.
Looking up, where are they, why are they saying?
Why? I think Mr. Butler in conversations, actually we've never met. I've tried to meet with him a couple times face to face. And some, those got canceled, not by me. And then the only other information that I have is through his emails. He doesn't see why the city, he's thinking that we would save $500,000. My feeling is that we won't even see this $500,000, because if there is no lease, then they're not paying the extra $500,000 to pay the district. So it is budgeted every year, but it is pretty much a pass-through. When we receive, wasn't that correct, Jackie?
When we receive the money, then they automatically get their check, everyone else gets theirs.
Steve, you want to add something?
You'd like me to speak?
Chairman.
Could I just say, according to the statute that's in this letter, City Works Board, long-term contracts, bond issuance by department void the obligation.
But we don't believe that it's under 36-4-8-12. That has to do with certain departments. I mean, I can do a memorandum the next time. I wanted to go ahead and put this in this packet, because I did make it for the last packet. So, that has to do with departments and, boards of the city. This was the city as a whole, that's one of the things. It's not necessarily, and under the district plan, which is the Conservancy District is organized under, there's no provisions in there for them being able to lease to private individuals. We don't feel like the LCD can, otherwise it would have probably happened back when, in '96. We don't feel that they're able to lease to anyone but municipalities, park boards, and the like. It does not say anything about them being able to do it to private individuals, so.
Your Honor, if I may, to answer Councilman Lawrence's question, why? Pardon me, I'm fighting a cold here. A couple of years ago, well, last year, 16 months ago, the LCD realized that their long-term viability was being threatened by the low interest rate environment, and we were looking for ways to raise revenue to offset future expenses. The Finance Committee President and the attorney were looking at ways to generate revenue. Richard Butler, through his other legal exercises, felt that a certain statute applied. and he felt that we could utilize that statute to void the existing agreement and get an independent agreement or an agreement directly between the gaming company and the Lawrenceburg Conservancy District. And there's been very limited discussion. I will back up Ms. Loto on that issue. She waived, and I don't mean to demean this, but simply speaking, she waived the statute, Richard waived the statute. They agreed to disagree, but they've never really had any detailed discussion about where this would head. Now, it is true that the LCD board back in October, against my opinion, voted 4-0 to pursue this action that Richard has taken.
It was actually November, but October.
It was a discussion, and we did formally vote on it in November. So the actions were taken to try to generate more revenue for the Lawrenceburg Conservancy District. It was, based on Mr. Butler's opinion, going to be a revenue-neutral issue for the city of Lawrenceburg. Is that a fair statement? I believe that's what he proposed, and that's what our minutes would say, and that's the way Richard presented it to us. I was not in favor of it. Originally, there was a letter drafted for the chairman to sign to send to the city of Lawrenceburg. I wouldn't sign it, and if I wouldn't sign it, nor would the 4 people that voted in favor of it sign it. So Richard ended up sending the letter directly from himself to the city of Lawrenceburg and the mayor. Does that answer your question? Are there any other questions from council? And I didn't come here to speak about this. I just came for yes, but
They want to blindside it anyway.
And not to demean our council at the LCD, who is somewhat slow or tardy to get things done. You've probably heard of his, you've heard of his unfortunate accident. He's going to be a bit slower to get things done. So where this is headed, I don't know. Your Honor,
As we would propose a meeting between, and because of his accident, he was not able to attend, but we were able to have a meeting with Hollywood and, because they have a stake in this as well, how would this affect, will affect, they could decide, hey, this is one way for us to get out of this agreement that, benefits us, I don't know. All I'm saying is that, it is a great concern, and, we definitely, and I don't know if you have someone in the interim, if we can sit down with them in the interim, that would be wonderful.
pardon me. Anything? Thank you.
Just one more question. Is there a specific date that this has to be dealt with, or is the contract or the agreement ongoing?
It's
somebody
ongoing.
takes action?
Basically, it's ongoing as long as our development agreement, which we had 9 renewal terms, it goes to, what did we figure today? 2045. But no, obviously, if they take the action to file a declaratory action, obviously, that hasn't happened yet, but that's why
Becky Stutz, additional appropriations.
Yeah. What I've got is, I've got an employee in my office who has a business degree, and according to the union contract, she is entitled to a skilled trade adjustment. And then Medicare, we just didn't budget enough because we've never budgeted a huge amount of money. As of the end of February, we are $2,680.83 in the red, and that was starting with $4,000. We've had an unusual number of people that we've had to pull from somewhere else to help with garbage. And so everybody that works garbage has to be paid, we have to pay Medicare for them. And I just put an amount for the whole year. We don't actually need to have that much now, but I just figured for the whole year. And then the other thing is the municipal development fund is the $90,000 that I forgot with the school loan. So, wait a minute, let me see. Whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to increase the appropriations in excess of what was originally appropriated in the annual budget, now therefore Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named for the purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. General Fund, 101041116, Accounting Customer Service, it's $1,300. 101,037, 122 is Medicare, and that's 27,000. Like I said, that should take us to the end of the year. So the total general fund is $28,300. Municipal Development Fund, 280,01411. The school loan is $90,000, and the total additional appropriation is $118,300. Passed by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg on the 7th day of April. I'll have to look. I'll get you now. Yeah.
You said the Medicare is because of the garbage?
Well, that's the department that it's in the red in. That's what they showed me.
Well, there's numbers in the police.
Let me see. No, can I see that minute? Okay. Let's see. Here. Well, this is for the month of February, Suzanne. This has $3,700 balance. Huh?
I don't know what the number is we're looking at.
In the appropriation report in refuge, I lost it. Line 122 Medicare, it says there's like $3,725 left. That can't be right.
That's what I have.
And that's what you have. Tyler gave me a sheet that said we were in the red. I'm sorry.
For refuse Medicare?
Yeah, for refuge Medicare.
I didn't see the sheet that he showed me.
Here it is, right here. Wait a minute. Oh no, that's, I'm sorry, I got the wrong paper.
But this is 101,035, 122. But this is 101,037, 122, and that's the police.
Well, then I screwed that number up. It should be 35. But Medicare, evidently Medicare is not in the red.
Police Medicare
Is it?
on the verge.
Yeah. We're gonna need more money, but I can go fix that at another meeting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Can we just drop the general fund appropriation until she gets it straightened out and it correct, and just vote on the $90,000 for the school loan? I feel more comfortable doing that.
Well, the only line that's wrong is the Medicare line.
Well, let's get it right before we vote on it, or someone will vote no.
And I guess I'll have to run for another term so I can learn how to get it right, Jane. I know.
We brought one extra person into your office, we hired a CPA, and if you still can't get the numbers right, I can come over and help you.
I don't think so.
What about,
We want to get it all right.
That's fine, I don't have a problem. Do the
Now,
school?
wait a minute, as far as the school goes, I mean, it
They
has
have
been
to do the school
advertised.
part, yeah,
It has been advertised, and you can pass the national development fund
yeah.
appropriation. And we just have to make a motion that the.
This is for municipal development only, yeah.
I'll make a motion for the appropriation for the municipal development fund only for the $90,000 that will go to Lawrenceburg High School Gymnasium.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All against?
Jackie, we would just need to prepare the ordinance form
Yeah.
with just that in,
Yeah.
if the council people can stop by.
She doesn't have the ordinance number?
I'll get it.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2014? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion to suspend the rules for ordinance, whatever it is.
By title.
By title, second time.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Motions, I have to read the ordinance, I'm sorry. Additional appropriation ordinance, municipal development fund, 280,01411, school loan, $90,000.
motion to approve the ordinance 2014 for second reading by title only.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to suspend the rules, read ordinance 2014 by title only for third and final reading. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Additional appropriation ordinance, municipal development fund, 280-001-411, school loan, $90,000.
Get a motion to approve ordinance 2014 for third and final reading.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Like I said, if all of you could come to Jack's office.
I'll redo it.
Okay, Mike Lawrence, Fairhaven East and West.
I had a resident contact me from there, wanting to know who the owner is of that property. And I guess if there's rules and regulations that's posted there, I guess it's state mandatory or something. And they're saying that they don't follow them, things they're supposed to do, like when there's apartment for rent and different things. So they're asking who looks into it, who's over it.
It's actually, and I got this report of search back in October. It's owned by Fairhaven Apartments, Inc. since 1978. And that is Fairhaven West and Fairhaven East. And
Does it say anything about who all that is?
no, I mean, the only signature that we have as far as on the mortgages is by a Davis Booth, sorry. I do know from talking with Mr. Votal, he used to run the Carpenters Union.
Yes.
We don't know if he's even around still or not.
Dave's died.
I was gonna say, I believe he's
I
deceased.
think how it started, I worked on back in '72. I think the unions used a pension to build, and don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure after 40 years they reverted back to Lawrenceburg. I'm not sure on that, but
It was supposed to, but it's not been
Nick
4 years.
McNiver's trying to find the original documents. They moved since then, they can't find them. Only put them in, try to find them.
What about those rules that's posted that I guess are state requirements or whatever?
Yeah, because these are FHA loans. These are from FHA. And, I mean, the first one was in '74 for $562,000. Second mortgage in '78 was for $826,000, which probably would have been, I don't know which was built first.
The West.
Okay. And then there's also a $25,000 mortgage from 1980 with FHA. But it does say the lender should be contacted for further information concerning the loan. They've granted us easements, of course.
So like those rules and regulations, I mean, can the city enforce those, or is there
I
somebody
think
that
the
needs to contact
manager
the
needs to
state?
do that.
Yeah, the manager.
They would, and if it's an FHA loan, it's something that they, you know what I mean, they could call Federal Housing Administration.
The way I understand it, I agree with the mayor. I believe it's actually in the union's hands. And it will revert back to us, and he was just the head.
I'm not sure. He King used to be the head.
Right, and he just happened to be the head of the union. But Mr. McNemery is trying to get that information, because I requested that from him a couple months ago myself.
And August, I mean, their mortgages are not due to become due until 2028 and 2030.
And how did we put the elevators in east and west? Did we do that legally or illegally, now that we're talking about this other senior building?
I've done trainings in those churches.
See, it does say in here, there are some, according to the mortgage, the last one, borrowers and any successors in interest agree to use the housing for purpose of housing people eligible for occupancy as provided in Section 514 or 515 Title 5 of the Housing Act 1949. During this 20-year period beginning May 15, 1980. So that, even that restriction would have already expired in 2000. That was from 1980 to 2000. So
I know in 2011, there were Pete King business cards posted on the bulletin board down by the mailboxes.
I think he's retired since then.
And then Mick took over.
So, I mean, I don't know, if Mick can find out if there are any owners, I mean, that corporation, we don't know whether that corporation is still, a valid corporation. I guess that's, I could look at the Secretary of State website and see.
But one day they will revert back.
I'm not sure about that, but that was the, we work on that, what you said.
I believe that's what Mr. McNevern told me.
It might be 50 years ago, I'm not real sure.
But I don't see that in, there's nothing in the title that says anything about reverting to, unless there's a separate agreement somewhere, because it doesn't say anything about.
Vic's been searching, he said he can't find it in the 2 boxes. Hope they weren't. Look like a PD.
So this deed that was from American Property Investment Corp. to Fairhaven Apartments Inc. states nothing about it ever being reverted. It would have to say that there are reversionary clause, and there's not one.
But what if we try to get a title search done on it?
That's what this is.
That's what that is?
Just have to wait, see if Nick come out and pay for it.
Either that, like I said, I can check the Secretary of State and see whether or not this corporation is still,
Because it would be nice if they at least had a phone number where to contact if they have an issue.
Right.
But Nick still the manager or whatever now? Sure to contact him.
Right, but he doesn't have any say from any owners, or does he? I mean, that's, well, that's the first place I'll check, and then there should be a resident agent that's in the Secretary of State records that we can at least go to the first contact anyway.
Who's the next one?
Yes, because he's getting a paycheck from somewhere.
I will,
Have him making it the contact number.
I can give you the information you need for this.
Okay. New garbage truck, Mike Lawrence.
I want to follow up on the new garbage truck. I know the city got it, went into operations, and I've had people contacting me, over garbage not being picked up.
Well, actually, it's not, they're out testing it out right now with drivers.
And then today, I actually got a message sent to me, which I want to read. It says, Mike, I don't mean to bother you, but I think you should know that they are saying at the city garage, when you go to buy a blue trash can, the workers and the guy who drives the new trash truck told us Friday, when we went to buy a can, that the mayor wanted to send out flyers about the cans, but council didn't want to because it was forcing people to buy trash cans. Either way, the taxpayers are being forced to buy the trash cans. They didn't pick up on Randy Avenue and 3 Mile Ridge last Thursday. The guy who drives the truck admitted that you have to have a blue can because that is the only thing that works with the truck.
No, I did not see.
And I just want to make, like I made an announcement earlier, I want the citizens to know they do not have to buy or have a city trash can.
But they have to put it in a
You have to have it in a container.
Correct.
The trash bags can't, I mean, that's in our ordinance now, they can't just be in bags, it has to be in some type of container.
But also, we was talking about obeying the ordinance earlier. Remember what our ordinance says about capacity. So, no.
Right now, we
can't obey one ordinance and not another.
I mean, it says that about 50 in the
About
town.
70. About 70 people.
I did speak with a gentleman.
Come on, Paul, please.
I did speak with a gentleman who had garbage bags. I said, you don't have to buy one of our cans, but you should have a can. I did tell him that, so. Now, I spoke with a gentleman, I said, you're more than welcome to purchase one at the city garage for 20 and 65 gallon, or 95 gallon for 25, or you can go to your local hardware store. And with that, he came down, he purchased two. So.
What about, did anybody tell them that the blue cans is the only thing that'll work with the truck?
Told him a can would be the only thing that would work with the truck. It has to be hard. You can't have a Rubbermaid can. I told him that. Didn't tell him it had to be a blue can. I told him you have to have, not any trash can. Because no, I told him the Rubbermaid can would squeeze it, you'd get the top portion of it in there, and the bottom portion wouldn't come out.
So are you sending a different truck if that's what somebody has, or?
No, I didn't, no, I just told him when he asked me about the rubber can, I said, no, you can't, because it squeezes it. That's the only thing I said.
I'm the driver of the truck. My name is Lanny Wyatt. I work for the City Refuge. Basically, what we're saying here is the cans that are not sturdy, when the arm reaches out and grabs it, it does squeeze the top end, and when it goes up and over to dump, actually, nothing comes out. So it's being placed back down.
But these. What if the can, it fits our ordinance, are you going back and picking up the trash?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing right now. Actually, the rubber, let's see, the ones I've seen that's actually working really good, the hard, heavy-duty ones, those work fine. It's the ones that are the real thin that are actually cracking. When the arm comes out and grabs it, it actually cracks the can.
Now, like if you have a can that's got a removable lid, you can get out and take that lid off before you dump it?
Yeah, I have. I mean, obviously, what's going to happen is that's going to go in the back of the hopper. So if it goes, squeezes it.
That's what I'm asking, is somebody taking that lid off?
Right, I am, yeah. Actually, sometimes too, like when it squeezes it, it comes off too. So, either way.
And just for an update on the trash on Randy and 3 Mile Ridge last Thursday, was it picked up after the fact, or until this next pickup day?
I actually had a driver with me. The guy that actually trains me, he was training me that day. On Thursday.
Okay, you got 2-hour parking too?
Yeah, which we done touch base on that, but I was gonna make a motion that this board will have the city attorney to prepare a new ordinance removing 2-hour parking in front of residential housing on Walnut Street. Or I guess, any street, for that matter.
Well, what would you do with the one with businesses and residential?
There again, I'm just going to state, the reason that was put out there is because the residents would park in there all day long, and the businesses, nobody can have a place to park to go to the businesses. And that was the purpose for that. So I guess I would ask each of you just to look through it to see what parking zones are on what streets, and maybe mark that up, make some comments, and bring it up next meeting for discussion. Just, you got to think.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but how can you still tell a resident, well, you can't park in front of where you live all day?
What about parking permits that you get to each resident, how many people live there? I think that's what they used to do.
Yeah, I think they got that though.
I know, like I said, when I first brought it up 2 years ago, I looked on the internet, other cities do it.
Or if you have the permit, you can park longer than 2 hours?
Yeah.
Indianapolis, Marion County has that.
Well, I mean, with the street sweeper too, there's, anybody downtown has to go for cars anyway, right?
And that's another, those are signs that we need to get more of. Some of them have been taken down, haven't been put back up.
And I don't know if that would be a big issue if it's one day a week that they can't be parked there between a certain time, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know, people taking me pictures and sending me, I can't believe this. I mean, it'd be kind of upsetting. You live there, you paid for that property, and you can't park in front of it for more than 2 hours.
But it is a right of way, and it is
No,
not, I
and
mean, that was how they got challenged before, was because it is a public right of way, they do not have a right to park on the street. They don't, because it's a public right of way, and that's how it was challenged.
Yeah, and it is, it's a privilege, no one has a right on the streets, but I can see, I can see the one block you're talking about, or just the section in front of the Walnut Square apartments or townhouses. That might make sense to change that, but, where you have both business and residential, you're supposed to have, everyone is supposed to try to get off-street parking. And, you gotta be careful with not only the residents, but you also have to look after the businesses' interest also.
Well, maybe the best thing to do is if you guys can email me what your suggestions are.
Which I'd imagine the biggest concern here is probably High Street with the event center. And what about having 2-hour parking on just like south of a certain block on Walnut and on High Street?
Because I know parking's an issue once you cross, I believe, William Street down through that little stretch right there.
Well, you're gonna need to maintain the 2-hour parking on the east side. I mean, we do have some businesses in there that I think we need to maintain it there, but there again, it can be looked at. I think you've all got the big ordinance book, has that, and it spells out every location and every sign in that.
And on the east side, where, can you say what businesses has the issue?
I think from Short all the way down to William Street on the east side is all residential. Or an empty lot.
Well, I mean, I know you got Octopoco, you have.
No, Short is residential.
No, I'm talking about High Street, Short, going all the way down the rest of High Street is all residential, or empty lots. There's no businesses there anymore.
She's saying Short all the way back around to Hollywood.
East Highway.
But there's still zone businesses.
I know, but there's no businesses there.
Yeah, but that's what the zoning designation is. They're not designated. I mean, we can look at it to try to clean it up, but I'm asking not to try to go in wholesale. We'll be back in 6 months because we got problems.
The only complaint I've heard is, in front of townhouses on Walnut. That's the only thing I've heard. I don't know if anybody else has.
And that one would be easy enough to modify that section, that side of the street.
The only issue that I've heard was Acapulco, but that's pretty much corrected with their parking lot. Over by Hollywood, kind of by Connie's house, by Central School, and the area I talked about up here are most of the areas that I hear about.
Why don't you guys give the last one, tell what you want to change?
Mike, when they put up those 2-hour parking signs, they didn't take them all the way down East High Street, did they? That circles on around the William Street tracks?
No, it doesn't go down that far, no.
Okay, good. Where they stop right there at Short, probably?
No, I think
it goes a half block past Short to the alley. I don't think it goes.
Right next to Buck's house?
Yeah, I believe, but I'd have to look. It's been a while since I've actually looked at the ordinance. I'd have to look again, but I'm thinking it stops at the,
Now,
possibly.
as far as enforcement of this, I mean, I don't know, is that something I know Mr. Laney was here when we first started talking about, maybe that's something, well, obviously would have to be weighed in by the police department as well.
Yeah, because if they're updating the ordinance, we have some, like we talked about before, is we have the $5 ordinance on parking downtown as well. Because they did away with the $50 parking enforcement when we did away with the parking on the east side of town, the residential only. So we only have a $5 parking enforcement too on our parking tickets, covered by the ordinance as far as I'm aware of.
And that's the ordinance right now that we're doing, okay? All right. So possibly the fees might have to be looked at as well.
Yeah, and I know you talked about the residential on High Street with, there's a lot of apartments upstairs, apartments too, that are, like Councilman Cook alluded to, that are parking on the street as well, that are on both sides, all down through there.
Everybody needs to get the last thing from Mike.
I'd say if you would, look at it, mark down suggestions and drop them off to me, and I'll try to put together a composite of what you guys.
There's one other comment I'd like to make. Dick Martin owns that business,
Yeah.
and I don't think he has any off-street parking.
I know on that block, Dick Martin and Kim Benson are the only two on that block that don't have any rear parking.
And that's an unfortunate problem for them, but that's part of our business district though, James. We have to, we're trying to get business and foot traffic downtown. We gotta make sure they have a place to park. I mean, when I started
I
here.
understand, Mike, but if you live in a home, you need a place to park too, or an apartment.
They haven't been cited yet, have they?
Huh?
They have not been cited yet, have they?
I don't think so. I know they're just concerned.
Okay.
Well, we all are on the street. I mean, I brought up our concerns. I mean, we have mediations and stuff that happen or last for longer than 2 hours, so we're gonna have to have people in it. And there's only 4 parking spots for 5 people, so there's always gonna be one person. I mean, I've been out of the office a lot, but.
You got 2 parking lots across the street from you, don't you? Parking garage. Work one ticket or some of it, but.
Okay. Moving on. Aaron Cook, Edinburgh Senior Housing Complex operating expense.
I just got this on the agenda to request how much the city spends on the Edinburgh, what they take in, see the feasibility of the city owning it, and it's already in the packet.
It's not a profit maker, I'll tell you that. I think, what we figure out, when we build it, when we get out of it,
40 to 50 years.
45 years.
Yeah.
But we talked about that today, the whole reason that the prior administration was the prior administration.
Yeah.
When they built the parking garage, the residents didn't want to look at a parking garage. So I mean, that was a.
That they built 22, stopped all of it coming over there. Anywhere?
That was it on that.
Okay, old business, my car flood ordinance update.
Just want to make sure everyone heard the IDNR FEMA did approve our ordinance, so on that end of it, we're good to go. So, Mayor?
Can I just say on that parking, again, just so everybody can look at it, there is which is 72.08, there's a special parking permit issuance provision in there.
There we go.
I think that was on a residential, that was intended for the east side for the casino.
They can repeal or is that?
I don't think there has been.
No, it's.
I think it's still in it.
And that's where one of the issues are, a lot of semis parked over there on St. Clair.
Because one thing is if, the occupant of the real estate is a resident homeowner or resident tenant of the real estate or a school.
Sergeant started watching the semis parking over there.
And Arch by the park.
Is that with trailers on them also?
No, there's a couple of park doors over.
So with trailers, they're taking more than the parking spaces.
While tractor takes like 3 spots out of it.
Yeah, and there again, the spots are designated. So if it doesn't fit a spot, then you're in violation.
Okay. Jane Polk, City Council Attorney.
I believe for council's best interest, they need an attorney. We need an attorney to represent ourselves. Someone to check contracts and review what comes before us. I could name numerous incidents where I believe our representation hasn't done her job. One is that we just passed contract with the Lawrenceburg Community Schools. An agreement to loan them $4 million, and the contract was entered into with Lawrenceburg Community Schools, the City of Lawrenceburg, and U.S. Bank. And in the contract, it stated that the $4 million needed to be deposited in the bank within 1 to 7 days. The second action our attorney should have took immediately was to create a resolution to have that money available to be deposited in the U.S. Bank within a timely manner. The third, excuse me, and the third thing the attorney should have done was to let Jackie know that that was what she was supposed to do, because when Jackie was questioned about it, Jackie said she does not read contracts. So now we have to redo a contract with an entirely new bank, have more meetings. So I'm just going to put a motion out on the table.
Can I just say something, please? Now, as far as the in-between time was when you pulled claims that were paid early. The $47,000 on the Fall Fest contracts, you pulled those and didn't pay them. As far as, there was nothing as far as in your motions when we went through those contracts that said to direct her to pay it.
It was in the contract. You should have read the contract.
I did read the contract. There was nothing that said she should transfer the funds, that you directed her to do that. My thing was, with $4 million out there, her doing that early, and you pulling those for some reason, because that's, you know,
But she was on a time frame of 1 to 7 days. You should have took care of that. We could have took care of all that in tonight.
That's why I objected to the 1 to 7 days, and we did the addendum for 30 days. So there would be plenty of time for the approval to come through this board, and then she pay it.
We'd already approved it, though.
You did not approve her to transfer the funds.
No, right, because
she has to put a claim in to transfer the funds.
Right, because you didn't do the resolution for her to transfer the funds. We could have took care of all 3 items in one night, and she could have deposited the money the next day.
Well, as far as I stepped back, I looked at what you already pulled those claims for $47,000, and, you know, thinking that she was going to be on the hook for $47,000. I was thinking $4 million. No, I don't want her to be on the hook for that. That's when the conversation came up with U.S.
We agreed. Why would we object to her pulling the $4 million when we already agreed?
I mean, I don't know with this council. I don't know what you're going to do. But I was not going to have her go ahead and pay that without some direction. There was nothing in the minutes, nothing that said that she was to transfer that money, to do the claim, to transfer the $4 million.
That was your job to let us know that's what we needed to do, step 2. Then step 3 was to transfer the money. That was your position.
Okay. That's a problem.
And another thing is, and with the Board of Works, with those 2 resolutions you put through today, you took more power away from City Council.
No, that was given to the Board of Works back in '98 from City Council.
I understand that. But if we had an attorney, which would have been here, that could have been here to represent us tonight, we would have been better organized to know what we could do to combat that and to stop it. Now you gave him all the purchasing power for the City of Lawrenceburg.
He's the purchasing agent as part of the Board of Works. It was done in '98, Jane.
But why was the resolution not done until tonight?
That was what Ice Muller recommended that we do, as far as these claims, these 2 claims that council pulled after Board of Works passed them.
So from now on, when we do not have the right to pull a claim and deny it.
You have the absolute right to pull the claim. That doesn't mean that we're not going to incur liability for you pulling the claims, but no, council has the absolute right to pull the claims. But the board that would have the jurisdiction to approve the claims was the Board of Works, through our ordinance.
So it's not the council's right to approve claims?
I'm not saying that. You have, over everyone, you have those rights. And I've asked Jackie about a way to separate those so that you have the Board of Works claims and you have council claims. But ultimately, you have the right, as the fiscal body of the city, to pull those claims. I'm not saying that you didn't have that right. All I'm saying is the board that is responsible for the jurisdiction to approve those particular claims was the Board of Works, and they did approve them that night.
The only way to stop it is like during budget time, if they're not allowed any extra money for that type of stuff.
What'd you say, Aaron? I'm sorry.
One way for her to combat if she don't approve of it is during budget time to not approve money, to allow that kind of spending if she don't approve of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jane, you put it.
I make a motion that city council retain Nick Kyle as our attorney from Barnes and Thornburg.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
I'm about working on here. Jane,
Yes.
Aaron,
No.
Mike, yes. Okay, JR,
No.
okay. It's 2-2, Mayor.
No.
Okay. Fail.
Okay, Mike Lawrence, update on grants previously discussed.
Yeah, we had some downtown business owners come, had a special council meeting before our regular, what is council meeting? About,
It was a special meeting.
yeah, maybe it's special meeting.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Talking about, kind of looking for help and different things, and so I requested documents from Main Street. Clerk treasurer just wanted to touch base on the numbers so everybody knew. And I took out on the grants, I took out other Lawrenceburg businesses that was not in downtown. This goes back to 2003. All the grants that was given to downtown businesses was $4,199,030.39. And that's, if I got everything, there could be something else. So I thought that was quite a bit of help from the city of Lawrenceburg. Main Street received $3,651,941.32 in funding. $3,651,941.32.
Okay.
So for a total of $7,850,971.71, and that is downtown business. And the only other thing, for the small business grants, it was up to $20,000 since 2003. There was 70 that received grants, which was a total of $1,042,000. And out of those 70, if I'm correct, there's 45 of them gone. So 25 still in existence. In one.
And that's from 2003?
Yeah. So I just wanted to,
Can you give me the bottom line figure again, that 7 million?
$7,850,971.71. So I thought Lawrenceburg's been pretty generous to downtown business. Very good. Yes. Thank you.
Any comments from the audience? Come on. Her first, Pat, then you next.
Cindy Nelson, and I'm not here to ask for money, I have some thanks. I know, I thought I'd stress that. The latest wine walk was Friday night. Mario is on my speed dial. Do I need permission? Do I need a permit? Thank you, you always help me. Mayor Carr, thank you for letting us use the lot. It was very nice to have that support. You see, John Johnson is still here, a city employee, and he has been helping us with games for the last couple months. He sometimes brings a funky crowd, but we still love him. And they do a great job. And then, Mike, I have to say thank you very much for Lawrence Motorsports sponsorship for Friday night. Not only did he bring a street full of vehicles, but his family, the biggest grill I've ever seen in my life. He gave away a lot of extra prizes. He bought the hot dogs that Main Street had
from the ice rink that were in the freezer.
Actually, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Wind up getting a hold of them,
Okay, well, you were going to, we were working on that, I thought you did, but your family was just wonderful, and you gave away, you grilled and gave away free, what, 250 hot dogs?
50 hot dogs we cooked and give them away.
And you also allowed people to shoot Nerf guns at your face and make money.
At-will donation to raise money for
To ALS, which was wonderful. People had a great time, and a charity that needed the money got some. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. It takes a village, and we have a very good one here, so I appreciate it. And I just want to put everyone on notice, Mike's baby girl promised me Friday night that she will be on The Voice by the time she's 14, so you might want to get her autograph now. But anyway, thank you.
You can't pay attention to what she's
It would just be a quick comment about parking in areas where we've got the mixed-use buildings, the residential and the commercial. I know parking is just, it's a sticky topic for everybody, but with all due respect to the people who have rented those apartments over businesses, I think in most cases they knew the situation they were getting into when they rented it. And I have to say, for a small town, if you really look around, the amount of off-street parking that we have because of the city's efforts and all the parking spaces that you all have secured, there's a lot of off-street parking. Very often, it's just that people don't want to take a couple extra minutes to walk a few extra feet to park. So I really hope you'll consider that, because if we have residents, all those residents who live above businesses parking in the street, we're not going to have any businesses, and it's tough as it is now. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Any more? No?
I got something to say.
Go ahead. Come on up there.
Okay.
Thank you, Maggie.
A while back, I came to the council about maybe the possibility of having some kind of public recognition for the 92-96 administration. I formed a committee consisting of Derry Hutchison, Lynn Slayback, Randy Abner, Doug Brookbank, and turned it into Councilman Jared Holcraft. What I'd like to know is, at this point in time, where does this situation stand? And I've talked to all the committee members, and none of them have ever been called for a committee member meeting. Now, I'm not here to get mad at anybody, and I like every one of you people up here. You're good people. The city's came a long way since '96, and that administration did a lot for this city. And I think they need to be recognized, and that's just my personal opinion. And I was asked to stay out of it, and I've stayed out of it as long as I can without being curious. I mean, totally curious as to why there was never a committee member meeting, and there has been some rumors of possibly a fountain on High Street, and, I don't know where that came from, but I've heard that the Main Street Association was possibility of having a fountain on High Street, but then I since then heard that that's not true. So what I want to know is, in the future, in the next 6 months to a year, is this a possibility of having some recognition for those people somewhere in the city of Lawrenceburg? I mean, they did a heck of a lot for the city, and you're here now, and, a lot of the financial situation that you have now is because of those people. And I don't want anything real big, real fancy. I just think something needs to be left here for the future. People 7,500 years from now can look at it and say, yeah, those people started this. Basically, that's my ideal. And I would appreciate if you would have some committee member meetings and make some decisions, and possibly bring those decisions back to the council, and maybe come up with a really good idea of something, you have in the future, a project or something, whatever you decide, because it's not up to me. I just have the ideal, So I just would appreciate if you guys would have a committee member meeting and go from there.
Who asked you to stay away from the meetings? I thought you were running the meetings.
No.
I thought you were in charge of them, not us.
JR was in charge of the committee member meetings. He was put in charge of, first it was Doug Taylor, and then Doug Taylor, his situation of resigning from the council, or whatever it was at that time, then it was left to JR, and I've since then called committee member meetings, and the members, see if there was any meetings taking place, and they said no. So, I'm just kind of curious, is this thing, something that could happen, or is it, dead in the water, or what?
Yeah, I want to get numbers, and as soon as I kind of hard to get it, it's good, water done, all that, numbers in, you can read, gotta get it, you can get it together better way.
Okay, well, it might be such a thing, we need to come up with some different committee members that have more time. Right, I picked the members, and I first picked some residents that lived outside the city, and then I came back with, some members that lived inside the city, so I thought maybe they could, be at a meeting and make some decisions, and, but if we need to get different members, I can work on that. I mean...
See if we get people together now, and get with JR and see what you can do. See if we get them together.
All right.
It's sort of Saturday or something, meet or something.
Yeah, I mean, get them all together.
Taking care of it.
Well, actually...
That's right. I was under the impression the city really had much to do with it. You were going to get this board together, come up with some ideas, and then come back to the board.
Well, it was left to my decision, my knowledge that JR was in charge of it, and that he was going to have the committee member meetings, and at that time, I was under the understanding that I wasn't to be that much involved in it. That's why I didn't have meetings myself. I mean, I just thought it was up more so to a city councilman to...
What do you do? I think that's what you missed.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Any more comments?
I don't want to keep you here too long.
I would better
Eric Kranz, I'm the new executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. Just wanted to introduce myself. Thank you. I know a lot of you from work with the city and the grant committee and things, but just wanted to introduce myself. Thank you for the city support in the past, and so you know, doors open. Would like to hear comments, suggestions, any questions that you have as we move forward and run in the chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only comment I got, I think Bobby's in Vance, Kentucky fans, go Yukon.
You guys gotta stay next to Maryland.
All right, if you discuss claims, you're going through. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion adjourned.